From the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications, your home for complete Marshall University news. You're watching MU Report.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for this third edition of MU Report of the fall semester 2019. I'm Sarah Rowe.
And I'm Sebastian Morris. We are a student newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University. We air this broadcast not only on West Virginia Public Broadcasting, but also on YouTube. Now, on to our top story. Reported incidents of violence and crime can make Marshall students feel unsafe. The advice to travel in groups and be careful with alcohol is a good bet. But it actually takes an awareness in the moment, which can be tough to do.
MU Alert is an automated system that lets all students, faculty, and staff know when crime is present on or near campus, and most students agree everyone needs to be more proactive in sexual assault prevention to lessen the frequency of unsettling notifications.
We know that among college students, 90% of victims know their attackers. We know that sexual assault happens within relationships, among acquaintances, and so we really need to think of prevention more as something that we can all do as a community.
Marshall students who violate the misconduct policies could face expulsion. Someone incapacitated due to alcohol or drugs cannot consent to sexual activity.
You have to be careful in deciding who do you want to put into your circle. And I think it's a good concept because Japanese have this thing called uchi and soto, where people inside your uchi are people that are close to you, people that you actually understand. But your soto, which are your people on your outside, are the people you don't really understand, the people that you need to know to push away.
You know, if you're going somewhere that you might be a little scared, try to bring a buddy. Something, you know, there's the alarms around campus where if you feel scared, you can push them and it'll send out an alarm, and also a loud noise, and it'll send a message to the police and they can come.
Keep your circle small, be smart about who you surround yourself with, and remember that there are dozens of resources available to victims of sexual assault and domestic violence. Sebastian Morris, MU Report. Based on numbers, public safety correctly argues Marshall is usually much safer than its surroundings. That's made some refer to campus as, in their own words, an island of safety in a swamp of crime.
And on the subject of Marshall's surroundings, Huntington City Council is currently repaving more than 30 sections of roads this fall. As Tiara Brown reports, students say the streets around Marshall University could use the same attention.
Students say they have been forced to replace shocks, tires, and even cars due to poor road conditions around Marshall University.
My friend actually hit a sign because he swerved to miss a pothole. It was late and he's seen it last second.
I've hit one like a year ago, and since then my tires had low tire pressure, but I don't have enough money as a college student to pay for a new tire.
Some students at Marshall University say they have been swerving potholes around the campus for years. They say that roads such as the one behind the science building need a little work.
People have to stop and wait for other cars to go around because at some spots, even though it's a two-lane area, only one car can go through at a time due to so many potholes.
Students say the fact that this relatively newer road is in such bad condition is upsetting and potentially dangerous.
Definitely over the summer when there aren't nearly as many students here would be a prime time to maybe repave some of these problem spots.
City Council officials say the city can't fix the university roads because the state maintains and owns the roadways around the campus. But there are ways to reach out and have those roads fixed.
They do have online forms where you can request that certain roadways be paved. You know, calling your state delegate.
Students say they weren't aware that these options were available to them and now plan to spread the word to the rest of the student body. Tiara Brown, MU Report.
There's no connection between tuition and road repair, of course, but most students say it's discouraging to spend money they say they don't have on car repair just to get to school.
And after the drive, students face the challenge of finding a parking space. The parking office correctly claims to have enough for every student and every other driver, but some students are willing to take a big risk for convenience. Mackenzie Watson has this story about what happens when a business right up against campus finds its customer lot filled with students going to class instead.
Just find someplace else to park. honestly.
Cricket Wireless is just one of the many businesses located across campus in the Buffalo Crossing Plaza, now having to face extreme measures of parking issues on their lot because students ignore the risks.
I do, yeah. You can get towed or a ticket because you're not a part of that business, but...
Looking out from their perspective, little parking remaining in their lots from students using it deters customers and makes their jobs harder, and to them, just doesn't make sense.
I guess it's not very fair to the businesses, but you don't have anywhere else to park, so it's kind of not fair at all because you're getting charged a lot of money for something you can't control.
I mean, you got to think about it. It's $175 if your car gets towed. That's what you're paying. You're paying $175 if your car gets towed. So you might as well get the parking pass, never have to worry about your car getting towed. Because getting your car towed, I mean, that's a whole bunch of things you don't want to have to deal with. So.
They are now forced with tagging cars one time before towing, with all fees going to the owner.
Local businesses understand that getting to class on time is important, but their lots are not built for quick and convenient parking when you're running behind. Mackenzie Watson, MU Report.
All the businesses closest to campus say illegal parking has been a problem for a long time, but they say there's always someone who risks it.
Marshall students face some tough choices on graduation, and as Ondo reports, the biggest decision sometimes is staying in the state or leaving.
For many soon-to-be graduate students, searching for jobs is not easy, and picking a place to work is even more difficult. Should I stay in West Virginia or should I go? Is the questions that many students have in mind.
Job opportunities in a state like West Virginia isn't necessarily as vast as somewhere else, because like thinking my field, broadcasting, there aren't any like major sports teams here. So like you couldn't plan or hope to stay in West Virginia if you want to make it big somewhere. So you gotta try and look somewhere else if you want to like make it to that level.
But I know that at least for my major, communication disorders, there's like a really big need for speech language pathologists in the rural areas of West Virginia, but because there's not a whole lot of opportunity and there's not a lot of economic growth in those areas, a lot of people don't want to move to those areas because they don't get paid.
While some students said they want to go for jobs in other states, some still choose to stay and invest in West Virginia.
I would like to stay in West Virginia just because my family is close to West Virginia.
Already familiar with the city and already familiar with a lot of the people in the area. So I think it'd be nice to start off here and then maybe go somewhere else.
Over the past years, the state has put an effort in keeping young residents for their sake.
I know there's a movement, West Virginia Forward, and they are doing all kinds of research. They are trying to bring companies in. I think there's some real viability within West Virginia, and it'll keep growing. Again, students need to do their research into what is available. You know, come to our office, talk to their instructor.
Choosing either stay or leave has always been a tough choice for students. Many said that the lacking of career diversity is one of the reasons why young people are leaving. Many efforts will need to be made to keep the best and brightest stay in West Virginia. Phuong, MU Report.
With midterm now behind us, some Marshall students are looking forward to another measure of success. As Aaron Dickens reports, this is typically the time many notice the presence of the freshman 15, meaning weight gain during the school year.
As students have the freedom to grab junk food and soda, the challenge of not gaining weight in college can be a struggle.
You don't have like a lot of parents or anything around that tell you that to go do something, so you can eat as much as you want and then just go lay in bed or not do anything for your whole day.
But due to the fast food restaurants at the Student Center, students can be trapped into eating high-calorie meals, making it much tougher to avoid gaining weight.
We only have fast food options. Like we only have Steak and Shake and Chick-fil-A, and we do have La Familia, but that's pizza and grease and sandwiches and all that. So there's not much of an option to eat healthier food unless you just buy a fruit cup from a stand.
Some students say that the dining halls make it tougher due to the lack of healthy options to pick from.
In Harless, I know there's like a salad bar, but I feel like there should be more than just a salad bar. Like a lot of people don't like salad or lettuce in general. So having more healthy options to eat would be good.
Even though there are a few healthy options offered at the restaurants, some students say that the unhealthy options are more satisfying to a student's budget.
Meals are very cheap. You can get it for like $8. You can get fries, a drink, a sandwich, and that'll fill you up for basically almost the entire day. But with a salad, you spend $5 or $6, and it's really just not enough.
But if college students are constantly offered fried foods and sugary drinks, college weight gain will continue to remain a struggle. Aaron Dickens, MU Report.
Students say it's difficult, but they can always stop and check the calories they're consuming. And they can do what professionals suggest, burn more calories than they take in. Every year, hundreds of new students migrate to Marshall University from around the world. Studying internationally can make it difficult for some to adjust. As Fareed reports, international students at Marshall combat culture shock even as Marshall tries to help them do it.
One of the most common challenges international students face is dealing with culture shock, which can be really hard for some students to overcome.
Stuffs like getting bed sheets and also some furnitures. I need to set up everything by myself, so that was the tough part for me.
Most common problems students face are sadness, insomnia, depression, homesickness, health, and feeling of being lost.
I feel a little bit lonely. I need every time I talk with my family.
Sometimes I miss my wife and baby, you know.
Culture shock affects in many ways, but mostly health and food.
So the here is like, it's a little greasy and also some little salty and sweet, like too much sweet. My favorite food, definitely pizza. It's my favorite food.
Food is how we feel comfortable. First of all, it feeds our body, but it also is a source of social interaction.
Marshall's counseling department helps students overcome daily life problems like culture shock, depression, and loneliness.
In order for a student to get an appointment with us, they can call, they can come in, they can email for an appointment. We have walk-in hours, so if students want to just come in and be seen, then we can set them up for an intake that would be a longer session later on. We're very flexible to work with students. We just like to make sure that they're able to talk with us if they need to.
For international students, it's not easy to adjust to American culture, but for some students, there is no difference. In either ways, Marshall's counseling department is helping students to overcome not only depression and anxiety, but also other symptoms caused by culture shock. Fareed, MU Report.
Owning a pet can offer companionship in ways that benefit students during their college experience, but require care and attention that can sometimes not be provided. Oftentimes, college students give up their pets, negatively affecting the lives of the students and the animals who may become stray in their neighborhoods.
During college, many students find comfort in the companionship of a pet, but are often overwhelmed by the commitment, creating more stray animals that roam the street, which can cause overpopulation, spread disease, and interfere with the lives of residents.
Before you adopt a dog or a cat, you need to be thinking in terms of a 15-year commitment. It may not work out that way because, not all animals live that long, but you should go into it thinking this isn't a short-term thing, or it's not good for the animal if I adopt you and I love you, and it's not good for the person either to become so attached to an animal and then have to figure out something to do with it at the end of the year.
It's a living thing. I mean, if you're not prepared to take care of it and feed it and show it the attention that it deserves, whether it be a cat or a dog or a bird, it doesn't even matter.
Not many people can take in an animal and care and provide the care and nurture that it needs. But I would also like it if they weren't running around my neighborhood.
There are many reasons college students choose to surrender or abandon their animals, the most common being that they lack the time and resources needed, or that their living situation simply does not allow them. Organizations such as the Cabell County Animal Shelter says the easiest way to avoid having to give up your pet is not adopting one until you're fully ready for the commitment.
That's all the time we have for this edition of MU Report. This content is generated by the students in the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. You can always watch this newscast on YouTube. I'm Sebastian Morris.
And I'm Sarah Rowe. Have a great day.